Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of Pit Pass Network interviews. Today, we're joined by Masyn Liedke. He's a local short track racer from Wisconsin, and this is our first interview of the up and coming local racers around any like area of the U.S. So, thanks so much for joining us, Mason.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this interview. Getting to interview local drivers that don't get as much spotlight as they're growing up their ranks right now. But I guess to start off, what was your upbringings and what got you into racing?
Yeah, so getting into racing, I mean, I've been a race fan for as long as I can remember. I think that definitely all started when my dad sat me in front of the TV one day and we started watching NASCAR and I picked a driver and it just kind of went from there. And now I'm a huge fan of everything racing.
That's awesome. Who was your favorite driver growing up?
My favorite driver growing up to start was definitely Jeff Gordon, but as of 2013 or 2014, I believe, I've been a Brad Keselowski fan.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those are good options there. And yeah, we mentioned already you're from Wisconsin. First off, what is your favorite cheese from Wisconsin? Because they're so famous for that.
You can't go wrong with some Colby Jack or our famous cheese curds.
Oh yeah, those are go-to. Yeah, I definitely would choose that as well. And then Wisconsin is actually pretty rich in racing history. Like there's so many drivers from there that has now been cup drivers or other forms of racing too. But examples like Matt Kenseth, Alan Kulwicki, Ty Majeski, Josh Bilicki, Dave Marcus, and the list goes on and on. So I guess being from Wisconsin, how much pride do you take from representing that state? And also, have you received any advice from any drivers that I mentioned or drivers I have not mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, being from Wisconsin, we're pretty blessed here with having a bunch of tracks and definitely plenty of drivers that have climbed the ranks and have made it to NASCAR. For some advice from drivers, I'm actually good friends with Josh Bilicki, and so he's given me a couple pointers for stuff inside the racing world. And actually, as of this year, Ty Majeski is actually running the red, white, and blue series at my track I run weekly, Wisconsin International Raceway. And I talked to him for a little bit during a practice session, just telling him about the trucks that I race. And he's actually driven one before, which was pretty cool to hear about.
Wow, it's really cool. Majeski and then Josh Bilicki. I guess if you do road course racing one day, he'll be a good person to lean on. That's his
Yeah,
specialty.
definitely.
And then yeah, Ty Majeski you mentioned, and you mentioned the sport truck series. So that's my next question. You're in the Wisconsin Sport Truck Series. And it's a different form of truck series. Like it's a smaller truck. I guess the first question is though, you're a rookie of the year in 2022, and then now you're approaching or you're in your third season now. So I guess throughout your three seasons so far, I guess what have you learned the most?
Definitely, I've learned how to drive these trucks. Many people look at them and think, "Hey, those look pretty easy," but no. Even Ty Majeski said he got into the one time for a practice session, and he said never again because of how difficult they are to drive. And so, yeah, I think the biggest thing for me has just been learning how to drive through traffic, how to pass, and we're getting really good this year. We're having consistent top fives and yeah, I mean, help or learning people or learning the tracks more too, being there multiple times. And everyone's willing to help everyone. So it's just a great community of people.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I think the primary track is WIR. It's Wisconsin International Raceway. So I guess explain that track because that's where you go to the most and like the length of it and all that.
Yeah, so Wisconsin International Raceway, many people know, has a rich history of racers and the red, white, and blue series, as I mentioned before. It is a half-mile track, and there is an inner quarter mile in the track. So two racetracks in one. We raced on the inner quarter mile, although it would be cool to race a half mile one day. Um, yeah, there's also a figure eight in the quarter mile, so we do run figure eight. No, we don't, but the track has figure eight races every once in a while too.
That's very cool. Have you tried figure eight racing before?
I haven't. I think my mom would have a heart attack if I did. But I mean, if someone's got a car open, I would definitely be willing to try it.
No, I wouldn't blame her. Yeah, those look, yeah, those take a lot of guts. I've seen videos before of those. And then so far in this season, I guess this is your third season. I guess how would you assess your third season so far?
My third season definitely started off high and has steadily dropped to a low. Not anything I can do about it. We started off with plenty of top fives, like I mentioned before. My worst finish as of a couple weeks ago was ninth, and now the past 3 weeks I've had motor issues, so I haven't been able to finish a race in 3 weeks, which kind of sucks. But we're assessing that, and I think it's going to help us learn more for next year and have a um better jump on the season and what we need to know, and so we can come in strong to 2025 and potentially win a championship.
Yeah, it's very cool. And how many drivers are in your series?
Um, on a weekly basis, driver count can vary. Typically, we have anywhere from 20 to 24, but I think registered drivers, we have about 37 registered drivers.
Okay, awesome. So it sounds like it's a pretty popular series.
Yeah, and it's only getting bigger and bigger. More people hear about it. Racing America actually posted a video from us at Slinger Speedway, and it definitely gained a lot of attention seeing the mini trucks on the track.
Yeah, it's very cool because I feel like a lot of like people that don't really follow racing just think it's a Southern sport, but I feel like yeah, it sounds like it's like really popping right now in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's only going to get bigger.
For sure. And then your car number is 52. Is there any significance with that number? Is that your favorite number or is there any meaning behind it?
Oh yeah, there's actually a pretty cool story behind it. So, my good friend Dave Brinkman, his dad's favorite driver was Jim Sauter, who ran number five, and his was Mark Martin, who at the time was number two. And his son, Kyle Brinkman, when he went to pick a number, decided, hey, why not? Let's combine your two favorite drivers' numbers and let's make it 52. And then Dave asked Kyle, well, why not 25? And he said, well, because dad's number always comes first. So, and that created the 52. And he ran that for many seasons, racing it in the Midwest trucks and late models and bandoleros, I think. And he ran that number for a long time, and then he switched over to midgets and ran number five. And so I kind of wanted to pay homage to him and run the 52, and it just has a lot of meaning behind it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And a driver that pops up in my mind of the 52 is Ken Schrader, and he does so many short track local races too. So that's a really cool number to represent him too.
Definitely.
And then a unique aspect, you actually race against your brother, Caden. So I guess how
Yep.
competitive are you guys on the racetrack against each other because you guys are related, but you want to beat each other still?
Yeah, definitely. Last year we didn't really see each other on the track too much because he was kind of learning yet, and I was starting to get better. And so I think we had a couple heat races against each other where we kind of banged doors a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Now this year we're both fighting in the top five, and so it's I think there's that mutual respect when we go down the track. We know we're both in the same equipment, and we know how mad our dad would be if we tore something up. So unless we're going for a win, I think we race each other with pretty good morals and respect.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's very vital. I guess I guess there's like no history. You guys never got in a wreck or anything or too aggressive.
Actually, funny you say that. Back when we both started racing in the go-karts, he was leading, I think, or second place. He was looking for the lead, and I peeked my nose under him, and we got tangled together. And we were both stopped, and we were just kind of looking at each other. And he just
Oh,
throws his hands up at me like, "What the heck, dude?"
oh man, that must be a little awkward.
Yeah. And we had to wait for the safety crew to pull us apart because the carts were actually entangled together, and so luckily it didn't wreck anything.
And is Caden your older or younger brother?
Caden's younger, about by a little over a year.
Okay, awesome. And then And then throughout your racing career, or when did you like start racing, I guess? Like what age?
I officially started racing in 2018, but I mean, growing up, my brother and I, we would race everything you could think of, like scooters, bikes, everything. We would just, if it had wheels, we were gonna definitely try to race it.
So I guess yeah, you said 2018. So I guess what would you say was your most favorite or coolest win you've had?
I think I'll give one from both series. In the go-karts, we had a big 75 lap race at the end of the year to commemorate like the championship, and um that one I was running second throughout the whole race, just about, and finally with a couple laps to go, I gave the guy in front of me a little bump and run, and we got by each other, and we raced each other really hard till the end, and I ended up winning the 75 lapper, and that actually helped me win the championship. And then for the sport trucks, I think I'd want to say my coolest win would probably be my first heat win because I'm still looking for a feature win. We came close, but my first heat win, I was battling with the 00. We were banging doors, and I almost lost it coming to the white flag, and I just powered by on the high side and ended up winning. Put my fist out the window, and it was definitely a good feeling to get my first win for that.
Well, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, the winning because on short track racing, generally, I think the most common way you pass someone is in the bottom, but to win on the high lane, that must have been a good feeling as well.
Yeah, definitely, especially as a rookie who didn't really make too many passes on the outside. Definitely was a confidence booster.
Yeah, for sure. And then, oh wait, so you said earlier Ty Majeski you raced against, or did you race against him or just saw him at the racetrack?
He has a relationship with one of the drivers. They're related in some way. The trying to think. Yeah, the family is the Vanderloops, and they own Ken Sports. I'm not sure if you've ever heard that. It's a pretty big name down here. Um, yeah, Ty hopped in one of their trucks for a practice session and did a couple laps, I think, and he did not like it, but I wish he would have done a race. I think that'd be cool to race against. I could say I raced against a NASCAR driver, but who knows? Maybe we'll convince him to do one someday.
Yeah. Yeah, and that observation you made earlier about like he said that he probably like driving the smaller trucks like being like being like thinking it was like really hard to drive there's a look at that observation. That was crazy there.
Definitely. For a guy who's raced so many different types of cars to say he got in one of those and he'd never do it again. I mean, that goes to show you how difficult they are, and they're so low to the ground with no suspension. You do get bounced around pretty good in there.
Yeah, and also he drives in the Craftsman Truck Series right now. And the Milwaukee Mile returned last year to the Truck Series, or I think it might
Mhm.
have never been in it. I know the Xfinity Series was in it. So how excited were you for that to return? And did you watch the race in person last year because it's so close?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, the Milwaukee Mile, I didn't really get there much because, I mean, the track was slowly dying, which was unfortunate. They had a couple ARCA races there, but nothing that really drew a ton of people there. And to hear that the trucks were coming back was awesome. And I finally was able to get there to watch a race in person. So getting to watch that race was really cool to be at a track, especially that's not that far away from me. It was a cool event, and I'm hoping it's just as big this year, if
For,
not bigger.
yeah, for sure. And then your main sponsor right now is neverslabs.com. So I
Mhm.
guess talking a little bit about the sponsor and what it's about, I guess.
Yeah, so Neverest Labs is they are a farm. They raise labs. Well, they have a bunch of different things, but their sponsorship with me is the labs. They raise lab puppies and sell them off. They train them really good. Um, and that partnership kind of came into place at the beginning of this year when my friend Zach said, "Hey, I got a sponsor for you, and we want to sponsor you, or my mom wants to sponsor with our business for the whole season." I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so to have Zach reach out like that and bring a partnership to the table that I never thought was going to happen. Definitely feels pretty good. And go check them out. They're on Facebook, I believe. Just search up Never S Labs and you'll find them if you're looking for a puppy, a lab puppy in the Wisconsin area. They're definitely the place to go.
Yeah, that's very awesome there. And then and then I guess throughout your childhood or what do I have to say this? Or did you like during your childhood or even now, did you enjoy watching any other sports or was it just racing and that's what you wanted to do?
Um, I definitely watched a lot of football growing up. Green Bay Packers were my favorite team, but I never really had the urge to go play football or like when I'd watch basketball. I never really, I mean, I played basketball in grade school and for a year in high school, but never anything like racing where I'm like, I looked at the TV and I'm like, that's what I want to do. I mean, racing just, it has that, I just have that connection with it. And I don't think there's anything that's ever going to take that away.
For sure. And then I guess in the near future or the long-term future, I guess what are your goals in racing?
I know being a young kid racing a mini truck in Wisconsin, having the dream of racing NASCAR does sound pretty crazy, but I know a lot of people and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to hopefully one day. I think I want to make the Cup Series. I mean, that's everyone's goal, but realistically, I think if I can make the Truck Series, that's a complete goal for me.
Yeah, for sure. And then you got already Ty Majeski and Josh Bilicki you've talked with that that could actually give you peop like car or truck teams or whatever
Hmm.
words that and such good words about your racing and stuff. But
Definitely. That
yeah, that,
definitely connections definitely help.
yeah, connections for sure. And then I guess just wrapping up this interview, I always end with a fun question.
Hmm.
So what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
My favorite ice cream flavor, I'm kind of boring when it comes to that, but I'm a chocolate guy.
Okay, yeah, that's a classic. Yeah, I could definitely go with that. Yeah, chocolate's related, like chocolate chip cookie dough was the interviews I do. I usually ask that question. That's like been the most popular,
Hmm.
so that's related though.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks so much, Mason, for joining us today. Getting to learn more about your career, your young career. You're still only 17 years old. Definitely
Hmm.
have a bright future ahead. But thanks so much for joining us and wish you the best of luck the rest of this season and to in the years to come.
Yeah, thanks guys. This was awesome.